Hello, and welcome to the Ripple Effect. I am Selena. So, today's topic is about friendship and those you surround yourself with, and what type of friend you are. So, I had to bring my Bible into this because I was afraid that I would misquote and I want it to be correct. So, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking in my word. So, in First Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Says, "Be not deceived. Bad company corrupts good character." And I speak of that from a place where, oh my goodness. So, as always, I talk about how I survived a toxic marriage. And in that, the things that I saw and I was able to learn from it. So, I would always tell him, like, he hung around these group of guys, and I tell him, like, you hang around with the cheaters, the beaters, and the drunks. Like, those were his circle of friends. And he would always tell me, like, no, I'm different. I'm just, hanging around them. They're cool or what have you. Mm-mm. He hung around those people because they had similar characteristics. Okay. Um, there was no corrupting of good character because he had, I wouldn't say he didn't have any. He had a small portion, a low percentage. Um, and I say that because that's something that I think about when I open myself up to friendship. Because if you're around people who are doing things that you wouldn't do, or that you feel like, okay, as long as they're doing it, they're living their life and it doesn't affect me, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's right either. Because the friends that you're choosing to hang around with, they will rub off on you. So I once heard this quote, and it's very, very true. Listen clearly. Okay? You cannot catch health, but you can catch sickness. Think about that. Okay? So if I go, excuse me, and stand next to a bodybuilder, I don't automatically get a six pack. I don't get these nice quads and glutes. It's not pow, 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 pow. All of a sudden, I'm a bodybuilder too. I cannot catch health. But let me stand next to somebody in the store and they coughing and a sneezing and blowing their nose and all of their germs my way. Didn't COVID teach us that? You can show enough catch sickness. So, if you're hanging around people who are bad for you, that's negative, that's sickness, you're going to catch that. And it's the same thing when you think about, okay, for my life, when I had these particular girls that I used to hang around with many, many years ago, and it was all cool and fun. We went to hang out, have a good time, party, or what have you. And then I noticed some characteristics that they were doing. Like I told you, some of them were in relationships but cheating, sleeping with married men, just doing all sorts of things that I did not want to participate in. And so little by little, I had to wean myself off them. And we're no longer friends to this day. I don't speak to them. I pray their life is blessed. Um, and it wasn't like I didn't have to say like, oh, you such and such, why are you doing this? No, it just was, I just removed myself. When they asked about hanging out, I just chose not to. It just, like I said, eventually they stopped asking because my answer was always no. So I didn't feel I needed to press down upon them what my particular principles and morals were at the time, because like I said, you have to gauge where people are, where they're accepting a revelation or not. Because sometimes people are tempted to talk to a person, but they'll come off so condescending as if they're so upright and pious and they've never done anything wrong. And for me, it was just like I didn't want to, I knew they weren't in a place to receive it. So it was best that I was able to walk away from that. And so when you're going out in the dating field and you're looking at a potential partner, you need to look at their circle and see who they're hanging around with, what type of people that they surround themselves with, even if it's family. Yeah, that's a hard one because some people feel like you can't avoid family. You can't really, of course, you can't choose them. But however, you can love some of them from a distance. You can do that if it's necessary for your peace of mind. You can, but being selective There's a speaker that I love. His name is Les Brown. And he says, only quality people, I think it's OQP. And he talks about that being the type of people you surround yourself with. Because if you're surrounding yourself with people who are not like minded, who are not driven, where do you think that's going to lead you? And some people are, I know for me, it was a challenge to say, will I have these particular friends in my life or will I have nothing? Because I didn't have, like I said, friends who were in the church. So I had these friends who were outside of the church, but they were doing things that were contrary to my beliefs and principles. And I had to decide whether I was going to still continue to socialize with them or not socialize at all, pretty much, or with a small select group. And some people aren't willing to make that choice. If they have this particular group that they're socializing with, they don't want to be alone, or not be the friend that's on the outside, like, oh man, so and so has changed, which we should be able to evolve and change it to something that's better, instead of surrounding ourselves with people who are corrupting our good character. And it's not to say that we cannot be a person of influence, that we cannot, not necessarily impose, but be that person who is bringing light, okay, into the friendship or the friend circle or whatever, to be something positive. But it shouldn't be like, oh, they're all going out getting ready to get high as kites. And you're like, yes, let me bring my Bible so that they can see as I'm high as a kite, I still know how to quote scriptures. You're doing it wrong. That's not how it's done, okay? You should be able to decline and be able to maybe offer something different. If it's offering them, hey, you guys want to pray together? You might have a Bible study. It can be something simple. It doesn't have to necessarily, you're knocking someone in the forehead with the King James Version of the scripture. It doesn't have to be that, but be very careful who you surround yourself with, who you are choosing to share your life with. Because as I said before, time is finite. There is not, you don't get to hit a particular, you get to a particular age, like, I want to start all over. Okay, 35, you know what? Let's just do the past 10 years all over again. That's not how it works. When you get this particular time that you're sharing your life with someone and sharing it, for me, I'm a very high advocate for peace. You're not about to come in my life and destroy it and be able to bring toxicity and negativity in it, and I just accept it. Now, once I read your card and I see that's who you are, then it's up to me to make a decision about how I want to move forward with this friendship. And the same thing, I encourage you ladies to find other women who are like-minded. Now, if it's you, okay, if you're the toxic one, okay, you just need to take a little time out, okay? Get yourself together, pray, and reevaluate who you are as a person. Because if you're the toxic one in the friendship, or and you're bringing all the negativity, find out why that is. A lot of us have a lot of anger and aggression rooted in childhood hurt, or for me it was church hurt. Find out where that is and be able to work through it, be able to pray about it, be able to overcome it. And it's going to take time. It's not something that is easy, but be willing to choose peace of mind over just having a friendship that is full of toxicity. So as always, don't forget to subscribe and join the OAC Nation, becoming an overcomer and confident. And thank you so much for watching.